はい、始まりました。イエーイ。はい、こんにちは。2013年の1月の29日です。今は東京にいます。で、ケンさんもここに実はいます。あ、映ってないね。はい。はい、で、前回のメディアソロ、ケンさんの、卒業の時から早1年なんですが、この1月私はメディアラボのトリップで中国の深センに行ってきて、でそこで、いろんなハードウェアのですね、マニュファクチャリング、製造の工場ですとか、設計の工場とかデザインの会社ですとか、あとはもう巨大な、電子部品市場を見てきました。で、そこで3週間深センにいて、そこで、今後どうやってそのメディアラボで自分たちのプロジェクトを加速していくかとか、うまくこう中国のそういう会社とうまくコラボレートしてやっていくことができるんじゃないかなっていうのを思っています。でそのトリップの中で、メンターとして、参加されていた秋葉さんを今日はゲストとして迎えて、お話を伺いたいと思ってます。
英語で大丈夫ですか？
はい、英語で大丈夫です。というわけで今日は、はい、この方をゲストで、はい。Yeah, so thank you for coming today and thank you for sharing your time. So this is Akiba. Yeah.
I am Akiba です。よろしくお願いします。
So he's a hacker and designer based in Tokyo.
Yes.
And so I think you have been living in Tokyo for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so could you introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I'm. Let's see. I am an engineer. I've been. I was originally an IC designer, and then I switched over to other sides of hardware and then software. And I think a few years ago I started working a lot with open source software, and recently, maybe a few years ago, also open source hardware. And now I just do a lot of different projects. So I work on many different types of projects.
Mm-hmm. So the first question is, I know that you love the Akihabara, and also your name is Akiba. So what's your favorite part in Akihabara?
Akihabara, I think now my favorite part is I like Chiyoda Art Center. Chiyoda Art Center is like the symbol of kind of, I think, the new style of Akihabara is like more. There's a lot of designers that are being exposed to technology now, and so I think that's healthy. So Akihabara seems like it's changing, and it's attracting more younger people, females, and designers. But still, I love Akizuki Deshi. I love Akizuki Deshi.
Akizuki Psycho.
So I don't know what I should start with. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. So one thing I'm trying to do in Akihabara right now is set up a hackerspace over there. I think it's important to have like a kind of an active hackerspace in Akihabara, especially one that kind of focuses on art and electronics. So I'm trying to locate it near the Chiyoda Art Center and try and collaborate with them, and also with the technology scene to try and bring everybody together.
So you founded the Tokyo Hackerspace several years ago, right?
Yeah. So me and many friends, then we got together and we decided that it was important to start a hackerspace in Tokyo, and then so we did Tokyo Hackerspace, and then we put a lot of work into it, and we actually were successful with Tokyo Hackerspace, I guess, in terms of kind of bringing a hackerspace here and like kind of doing a lot of stuff. Like we did, like out of that, then like kind of Safecast a lot of the effort for Safecast came out of Tokyo Hackspace, and then you know there were a lot of great things, but I think also there were mistakes that I think like bad decisions that probably I made, and like you know, and that in the Akihabara Hackerspace, I want to try something different.
So who is the main customers, main users for the Tokyo Hackerspace?
Tokyo Hackerspace right now is mostly technology people. It's very engineering centric, and I think you know it's good. And there's a lot of engineers there, and everybody's trying to teach each other and everything. But I think the location in Shibuya is you know, like I love Akihabara, so I want to do it in Akihabara. So.
Why didn't you start in Akihabara at the beginning?
At the beginning, like I wanted to do one in Akihabara, but I was worried that if you put it in Akihabara, then it might attract too many otaku or something like that. And at the beginning, I think if we, you know, the idea was that we had it in Shibuya or Shirokanedai or something, then it would be more, you know, more.
Yeah, you said you guys started in Shiroganedai. That's where Ken lives now, right?
Yeah.
And I was surprised to hear that.
It's an expensive area. Like we had a good deal over there, so we got a good deal on a place. We had a house, and then but it was difficult. That was one mistake that I think we made, was that I think it should have started in Akihabara. Like I should have been stronger about that, I think.
So how do you run the Tokyo Hackerspace? Is that a membership based?
Yeah, so it's a membership based hackerspace, and that's another area that I think is difficult, because then you're always trying to get members. You know, and I don't like that. You know, if people want to come, then they should come. If they don't want to be a member, then that's fine too, right? So I'd rather have a hackerspace that's based on like kind of, it's not just completely membership based. It's based on workshops and you know, like selling stuff and whatever, so that it can be, you know, so it's more independent of that. You don't have to keep on like forcing people, hey, you should be a member or whatever. Right,
so the next, the next thing is maybe I want to ask you about the Safecast.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, this might be pretty random. Because, we have some images.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So let me. So the first one is this. So could you explain that? I know that you developed the Geiger counter. To measure the radiation level.
Yeah. So like so after the tsunami and then Fukushima was blowing up, at that time we couldn't get any Geiger counters. You know, because all of them were sold out. So then, at first, I had a friend in the U.S. He sent us two very old Geiger counters, like very like the very like, you know, from like the Cold War era, but they still work. And so I modified those ones to count the beeps and then send the data to the internet. But then it wasn't very scalable because we only had 2 Geiger counters, and then I started, I ordered a bunch of Geiger tubes, which were still available, and then I started studying how to create a Geiger counter. And so I think at that time there was a lot of motivation, because we didn't know like when things would get worse. And so, the Geiger counter development proceeded very quickly. And then I was helped by a lot of people like Shigeru Kobayashi and like people in Germany, and you know. So there was a lot of, it was like a kind of a huge effort by a lot of people in order to get the a Geiger counter working.
So this is the group of the people involved in the Safecast?
Yeah. So that at that time it was called RDTN, and then it was that was at the New Context conference. So that was originally supposed to be canceled because of the tsunami. But then I think Joey and Digital Garage decided, that was in April, and Joey and Digital Garage decided that it should go on, even though, you know, things were still kind of unstable in Japan because of because it was needed. And so at that time, then you know, like I had already developed a Geiger counter, and then Joey and Sean asked me in Tokyo Hackerspace to be part of RDTN, And then so we got together, and then we had a meeting on what needed to be done. And so at that meeting, then we decided to create Geiger counters that could geotag radiation readings and then drive around Japan. So that's Joey with Peter developed the iGeigy, which is an iPhone Geiger counter, and then and that one just like blew up. It was crazy. But yeah, so Joey was fond of that device.
I heard that some office, the SafeCast office upstairs.
Yes.
Oh, upstairs?
Yeah.
Maybe Peter's upstairs.
Huh?
Peter.
Oh,
he's probably working right now. But yeah, I mean, if we can access it, then I can show you some of the equipment.
actually, yeah, we didn't explain that we are now in the Pub Cafe in Shibuya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so now we are at
that's where we are.
Pub Cafe in Shibuya.
And, so that's like I developed a couple of designs for SafeCast, and then so one of them was a networked Geiger counter. So basically, we set up a radiation sensor network, and so that one we deployed like about I think 330 or 350 devices across Japan, and that was in conjunction with Keio University and SoftBank, and so yeah, that was fun. So we got funding from SoftBank, like $1 million from SoftBank. To do that.
So did you guys use them by themselves, or did you use the manufacturing factories to scale it up?
No, I had because the time was tight and the design was constantly changing because we had like because all the time like there were a lot of limitations that we had to work against, especially like it's I don't want to go into details, but yeah, it was there were many limitations, especially there was like government pressure and also like other types of like SoftBank stuff like that. So there was like kind of issues, right? So we had to constantly change the design. So finally the design was like we had Wi-Fi and all types of stuff. So anyways, I had to manufacture them in my apartment because like
like 500 sets?
No, it's about 350.
Wow.
So yeah.
But during that time you didn't do like any other project, right? You just
there was no time. So those were the prototypes for the geotagging Geiger counter. So that one we had a Geiger counter, and then we had a GPS and SD card, and then we'd take the readings, calculate the dosage, and then we'd geotag it. So every 5 seconds we'd tag it, and so we took that and drove around Japan, and we mapped the radiation readings. And the reason we did that was because between us all, we only had like maybe 5 or 6 Geiger counters, and so we had to figure out what was the best way to use those Geiger counters. Like 5 Geiger counters. How could you best use it to benefit the public? So yeah, that was me trying to manufacture everything. It was crazy. I tried to crowdsource it by having like people in the hackerspace working on it, but then there was the quality issues. So finally, I just had to do it all myself.
Wow. So yeah, you showed me the link to the development history here. But how long did it take for you to develop the 350?
The initial development of the Geiger counter was like maybe I think like the span to get a working prototype was like maybe like a week or a week and a half, and then but I think to get it like kind of in a like manufacturing in a stable state was it took a while.
Oh, I have to change to the camera. Yeah. Then, so this one is using the devices.
Yeah, and so like and then we ended up sending the data to Apache Bay as well as the Keio servers. So within the KOY project, and then since we were working with SoftBank, Yahoo is part of the SoftBank family, I guess, and then so Yahoo was also hosting the radiation data at radiation.yahoo.co.jp. And so this was a different project. This was our geotagging. This was our geotagging Geiger counters, not the stationary, the fixed sensor network. And then so when we were doing that, then we got a lot of attention, and so people were like giving us resources. So Tesla would let us take the cars out at nighttime, and then we drive them around. And then we raced Ferraris, and Teslas are so fast.
This one is Tesla. Yeah, Tesla car.
It was so cool. Like those Teslas are very fast. And that's
is it also related to SafeCast?
yeah.
Okay.
So that was we had a meeting at MIT Media Lab like a while back, and then so we were hanging out. At that time, then we were talking to Leah Beakley at High Low Tech to see like if there was a way to kind of work together, to try and make radiation sensing kind of more accessible to just the general public rather than so scary.
So yeah, back to this one. I wonder because most of the people I don't know involving in their SafeCast are non-Japanese people. No?
Well, actually, no, they were. If you look at the far end, then it's mostly like it's Keio University, like people from Keio Wide Project.
Oh, I see.
And then
Murai Sensei is also part of the SafeCast, isn't he?
what?
Murai Sensei.
But I think is a what? Yeah.
Yeah, so Murai Sensei is an advisor for SafeCast, and then Kei and Furitani-san from are both Wide Project members. And then so like on the far side, then a lot of Keio people. And then on this side is like so. Then there's Joey, and then Sean, and then like so like.
But how did you guys get connected? Like Bunny, you, and Sean, and Joey, and other white people.
After I made the Geiger counter, and then it got put on like Make Magazine, and then so like then Sean contacted me and said, hey, would you like to help out with this group RDTN? And then so then at that time, so Sean and Joy had already put together Aaron Uslage, which is like an IT specialist, and then Bunny, which is also a hardware specialist, and then some other people, and then like Peter and everyone. So like at that time, so we were RDTN, and then probably a little while after that, we became SafeCast.
Okay. So yeah, back to the camera. So I want to hear more about your like business, the open source hardware.
Oh yeah.
So what do you do?
So I mostly do I do a lot of sensor networks. So my specialty and also my interest is sensor networks. And then before I was writing like kind of protocol stacks for sensor networks. So like I was well known for writing an open source Zigbee stack and all that. But then the problem was that the protocol is so complicated that nobody really wanted to use it. And so so then I spent about a week and I wrote like kind of just a simple wireless stack and put it on an Arduino, and then and then I was just selling them like crazy, and so like, oh okay, and so I made a lot of like wireless Arduino devices, and so right now I designed open source hardware, and then right now is like the main focus is wireless Arduino, and I'm probably going to start expanding that into like different frequencies and different protocols.
Yeah, so what I know that you have you used to work for the company, the corporate company before then.
Many.
What made you?
That's how you came to Japan.
No, I came to Japan for a girl. I was chasing after a girl. That's how I ended up in Japan. Right. And then so my girlfriend at the time, like we were together for a long time, and like close to 10 years. So like she moved to Japan, and then so it was either like if I don't come to Japan, then it was over, right? So I decided to come to Japan, and then
that's so flexible.
And then it was still over. So then so we broke up, but I ended up staying here. That's how I ended up in Japan.
But what makes you start your business?
Oh, I got tired. So I was doing a lot of I got tired of like working in the corporate industry, so I didn't really like it so much. I think once you reach a certain level of engineering, and then people want you to do like more management and sales and things like that. And I tried it for a little while, but it's very tiring. So I was telling in Shenzhen, we were in Shenzhen together, right? And I was talking about like kind of the social side of like business. Because you saw like there's a lot of drinking and like kind of like settai, that kind of stuff. I didn't like it. I'm a designer, so I like the design.
But I saw you enjoying drinking.
Drinking is not bad. Drinking is fun. Drinking as a job is not so fun, right? So I have no problems with drinking.
Okay.
Or maybe I have problems with drinking. I don't know. But anyways.
So other than your business, so you said you're also consulting. You're doing the consulting
Yeah. I was doing.
jobs and other projects, right?
Yeah. So I was consulting for with Maxim Semiconductor, and then I was helping them with research for the Japan Smart Grid, and then like other various projects, and then right now like my big project is so I'm working with the UN on weather monitoring. And
Oh, do they have the image?
Monitoring.
I
I think so. It's like I think there's only one picture. This one.
Okay, this one.
So yeah, so that's a weather station. That's a prototype weather station that I built for them, and then we're going to test it against like the environmental scientist equipment, and then calibrate it, and then we're going to try and basically we're tweaking it to make a weather station so that's low power, so it can last like in the field for like 3 to 5 years, but also have like a cellular modem or a satellite modem. So basically a weather sensor network.
So where are you going to put this one? In which countries or which area?
Oh, so the target is going to be for Africa, because Africa, they have a problem with there's almost no weather data coming out of there. And then so like the requirement for the weather stations is that there's no moving parts. And so like for temperature, pressure, humidity, rain, and wind, then there can't be any moving parts. Otherwise it becomes a reliability issue. So yeah, well the requirement is no moving parts, and then like very low power, and and satellite communications. But the main issue is reliability.
So I have a question, because you have developed so many like this kind of hardware. So do you have the facilities at your home, or how do you develop this kind of big hardware?
Oh, like in my apartment, or?
Oh yeah, in your apartment, do you have facilities?
You mean to develop? I have like I have. So in my apartment, I have like my normal design flow. So I have like of course the CAD tools, and then I have a CNC PCB mill that I can use to do PCB prototypes, and then I have a pick and place machine to like do like the assembly, like board assembly, and then reflow oven. And
you have everything.
Yeah, and then just like so the rework set up for soldering and all that, and then just like wireless test equipment too. Akiba kit. So that's another reason why I'm called Akiba. So.
Oh no, okay, back to the camera. Oh no, what's this? Okay, yep. So I wonder that you have been working on so many different kind of projects, but how do you choose? Because I think you get a lot of offers, a lot of projects from others, and you have to choose some of them, right? So you cannot spend.
Basically, just mostly like what's interesting, right? So I for like if there's I think the first criteria is whether or not it's interesting, and then after that, then whether or not there's money involved, right? So if there's money involved, then it doesn't have to be super interesting, but I might still take it. But if there's no money involved, it has to be very, very interesting. And so like for the projects that I do for free, then I like to do projects that would normally not be taken on by like is not available in the business. And so like that's why I wanted to work with Wrecking Crew Orchestra on the dance.
Okay, so let's move on to this one. This one?
Oh yeah, so I work with a dance crew, and then we do like kind of illuminated costumes sequence to music. And so that one turned out really well. And so I was contacted by them to help them out with this project.
So is this?
Yeah, and so I developed custom hardware to like drive the so they're using electroluminescent wire, and then so I had to develop like full custom like wireless transmitters, receivers, and then power management, all that stuff. And so it was like probably like a 3-month project to get all the hardware going, and then probably another 2 months to get everything stabilized. But then right now everything is stable, and then I was originally going to release it as open source, but the thing is that they're getting a lot of work from it. So then I figure, so right now I'm kind of giving them a head start so they can get a lot more work, because I know how hard it is for dancers to find work. So. So yeah, it'd be easier if it was open source, because I could actually sell the system too. But it's like, it's alright. So those are the transmitters I made. Like so, that's like probably like just 10 transmitters, and then you only need one transmitter, and then we have, I think per performance is around 26 receivers.
So did you work with another engineers to develop this, or did you do it by yourself?
I think originally I was working with a guy named Minoru Fujimoto. So he's known as B-Boy Popeye. And then but he got busy, so he's a professor over at Tokyo in Hachioji, like an art institute in Hachioji. Tokyo, not Tokyo Daigaku, but Tokyo Engineering School. I forgot what it was. But anyway, yeah. But anyways, he got busy. So then after that, then So when the hardware development is most like I was taking over the hardware development, and he helped a lot with on the application, the PC application software for the sequencers. So yeah, that's the EL wire. So we would buy EL wire by the kilometer. So just tons of EL wire all over the place.
So who came up with this idea, using the EL wires and for dancers?
Wrecking Crew Orchestra originally came up with it, where they had EL wire, but they would turn it on and off with switches. And so every time they were dancing, they had to keep their hands like right around their waist, because and then so to turn on and off the EL wire. And so they approached Minoru, and Minoru said, "Oh, we can make it automatic." And so he set them up with an XB. Like an XB for transmitting and receiving, and then just PC software. And then, so that worked, but then like it was hand soldered and stuff, so there's reliability issues. Oh really? Is it too loud? Or?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, the upstairs, right?
Oh,
we cannot.
Did you want to go check it out?
Machines
No,
upstairs.
because he said he's not, the Suwasan is not upstairs.
Oh, okay.
I might be able to ask someone upstairs, but let me try later.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so anyways, but yeah, so they had the prototype, but then like, I think, then they were because they were using it so much that it was just like, like when you have a prototype, like a hand-built prototype, and if you use it a lot, then it just becomes very, like there's reliability issues. And so that's when I basically, so I redid the whole hardware. And then,
wow. So, but they are still performing all over the world.
Yeah,
so now
how do you handle the hardware?
Oh, well now the hardware is stable. That's why I said the hardware is stable, and so like I don't have to be there.
But sometimes it might be broken and you need to support it.
Oh, the hardware?
Yeah.
Well, they have extras. So like
extras.
I supplied them with like, so they probably have like double the amount they need. And so then if they have broken hardware, then they just send it to me and I fix it for them. But yeah. But my main job is to make it so that I don't have to worry about them, right? So those are some pictures of when we were preparing for like the big performances. So it was so those are the suits. And so like they're wearing it, and then like they came up with a bunch of suits, and there were a lot of like like issues that we had to deal with.
So I will insert the YouTube YouTube video later, maybe.
Oh, okay.
That'll be-
Yeah, I wish. So like, cause we did like the most recent one. So now, the YouTube video was with only 2 channels.
Ah, really?
Yeah, and then now we're using like 6 channels per thing, and then it's pretty. The latest one is crazy, but no videos have been released yet, so it's like really, like it's so awesome. Like the Wrecking Crew Orchestra is really like one of the top dance crews I think in the world. So like that's why like this stuff is so creative.
I know. Also, you said that you have danced before.
Yeah. I used to be a professional dancer. That's why I know how hard it is to get work. So that's a Wrecking Crew Orchestra, and we performed in Hong Kong in November. So that was fun. And then like we did, it was a full production, and then we were selling out the auditorium.
So I didn't know that yesterday. Ken told me that these dancers are on the Sony Ericsson's ad in
Xperia.
Japan, Xperia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how we met here. What's
Yeah,
the name of the guy? Here?
Takumi.
Yeah,
Kotoba.
that's the one I met him. So. Yes.
Yeah. So he's the creative director for Wrecking Crew.
Then we have another image. It's also radiation monitoring.
Sorry, that was just, so I also work with the International Atomic Energy Agency, and then so like I'm helping them develop equipment, but they're also related to the UN project because they're also a UN body. But then I help them teach workshops, and then I'm also helping them develop radiation monitoring equipment. So this was just like, so we were at a nuclear research facility in Jakarta, and then we were teaching them about like radiation monitoring and sensor networks. That was all the nasty radiation was in there. I feel bad for like the neighbors because people lived around there, right? And then we're doing testing, and so we like open it up, and then all the radiation will spike. And then people that live near there.
So is it also in Jakarta?
Yeah. It's in the outskirts of Jakarta.
Wow. Why do they have the high radiation level in Jakarta?
We were simulating like a radiation accident, and then we were using the sensor networks to measure and see like those spikes. So we planted sensors around the area, and then we wanted to make sure like so those sensor networks were using SMS to transmit data, and then and so they wanted to make sure that they could capture any kind of radiation leakage like as a spike, and so so it did.
So, but you said you guys simulated the radiation, but basically the Jakarta has the radiation.
Yeah, well, we simulated a radiation spill by using real radiation.
Is that for the testing?
Yeah. It was a strong source, so they were using a strong source.
Why is that for the nuclear plant, and why do they have the radiation?
Some kind of there could be a nuclear accident, like nuclear spill. It could be like, I don't know, some other like nuclear, whatever, whatever the cause of the radiation. So it could be like nuclear weapons testing. I don't know, but the main point is to capture and detect the radiation and inform the public. That's the important part. So that's me messing around. So that was I was helping with the Japan Smart Grid efforts, and so we were testing. So basically, the smart grid is just like a large sensor network, and so we were using like the 802.15.4 protocol over power line communications. So in this one, we had simulated an apartment building, like 13 floors of an apartment building, and we were injecting noise from like say LED lamps and fluorescent lights, which have like a lot of inverter noise, and then we were testing like how far the power line communications could penetrate through the noise sources. I think that's it. I didn't put anything else in. I work on some other things too, but luckily I cut them out.
So how do you manage your time? Because you said you have been working on so many projects, and
yeah.
It's like overlap.
Yeah. Well, right now, so the Wrecking Crew stuff is mostly stable, so I don't have to worry about that too much. So right now, the projects, I think from the Shenzhen trip, I've got a new project, which is I want to develop like electronics prototyping kit for pop-up books. So like I think I was impressed with G's electronic poppables. So that kind of stuff interests me because it's not really something that would ever be made commercially, right? So no. But then otherwise, then my main projects for this year is hackerspace and Akihabara, and then a hacker farm.
Oh, hacker farm. Yeah. Can you tell me more about hacker farm?
So the hacker farm is it's a farm we rented in Kamagawa in Chiba, and me and like 3 other guys, and basically we're gonna use it to like kind of do agriculture experiments, and then like organically traceable food, and then also to teach people about like kind of how to make cheese, how to preserve meats, like smoke, how to make sausage, and it just basically a lot of. It's going to be like a hackerspace, but targeted towards food and agriculture.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
And then people can just like go hang out there because the land is so cheap, and then people can just like go out there and stay when they need to get away from the city too.
So you said you used to be in US, right?
Yeah.
Then came to Japan, maybe 10 years ago, but also spent some time in another countries.
And just like traveling around. So that was
also spent 3 weeks in Shenzhen.
Yeah. 3 weeks in Shenzhen. That was crazy. That was Shenzhen. I've been to Shenzhen before, but I've never seen that side of it. So that was eye-opening. So I'm definitely going to need to spend more time in Shenzhen.
How did it impact your life or your work?
There's a lot going on out there. It's the electronics, the manufacturing. If you're doing anything at all related to like hardware and manufacturing, then you probably need to at least go out there and see what's happening because it's just nuts.
Absolutely.
And I think I want to try and get some of the designers from around Japan out there too, and so they can see it and they can be exposed to all of it.
So you said you hang out with most of the time the designers in Japan and not engineers. And how do you feel about the difference between designers and engineers?
I think so. In my opinion, and I think you disagreed with me, but in my opinion, I think that kind of designers and artists right now are like kind of the fastest adopters of technology. Like they're going to try whatever is new and available, right? And especially with Arduino and processing and like open frameworks, then a lot of that technology is accessible to them. And like the engineers that I talk to are still, they're like more fascinated with kind of like technical complexity and things like that, whereas I think the designers are more interested in like kind of getting the desired results and getting like they don't care about how complex it is, or they're just like trying to get something to work. So I like that, and so I enjoy hanging out with like at least on the design side more. I could be wrong though. I don't hang out with a lot of engineers or Japanese engineers here.
Okay, what else?
So, what about you? How has Shenzhen affected you? Because you just came back.
Yeah, I just came back yesterday.
And Shenzhen with a bunch of other Media Labs designers.
So of course it's impacts me a lot, and especially of course we can. The Media Lab is very good at the making the new ideation, but we are not good at making real products. But if we collaborate with the factories and the companies which could help us to make real products, we can accelerate our project. And also I think if we think about the sponsors, Media Lab sponsors, of course they are very happy when they come to the Media Lab and to see our demos, but actually that does not relate to their real profit. I mean, it's just a long-term investment for them. So so I think if we could accelerate our project and towards more real product, and that makes us, I mean, the Media Lab student and also the Media Lab sponsors happier. And yeah.
So actually, I don't know what happened in Shenzhen. Can you describe more about that tour?
Okay.
What did you see? And
so we spent 3 weeks in Shenzhen, and so we visited the many kind of manufacturing factories. So the ink, the injection molding, injection molding, not injection, injection molding company. It's also from very small piece to the very huge parts for the automobile and go ahead.
Huh?
We also visit the clothing companies. The funny thing is that one big clothing company produces so many clothes and bags for so many brands. So Adidas, North Face, and the many kind of different brands come from the same factory.
Have you ever seen any factory around big area? I think that Tokyo also have the factory or industry having
the local factories in Otaku and.
Yeah, do you know what's the difference between Japan and China?
I think the factories in China is more good at the making the larger amount of product. I know that because the engineers and the workers in the Tokyo factories, they are more good at the very specific skills. Really? Don't you think so? No.
I think so. I think the most important thing that I saw in Shenzhen is that it's not just like one factory. It's not just one factory that builds things. It's like you have this, like, say, the clothing factory, right? And then near the clothing factory is the fabric manufacturers. And so the fabric manufacturers can work closely with the clothing factory, and then in that same area is the machinery manufacturers. And so if anything happens, then the machinery manufacturers can go there and repair it. It's just like there's a whole network of manufacturing that just exists in
that area,
very close to each other.
So one holding company is keeping that company, or they're independent but connected to each other.
So like the electronics, for electronics, they have a huge parts shopping district.
So huge, so many buildings.
Unbelievable.
Do you know how they can connect each other?
Just
for example, if you want to make something new, how do you connect with each technology?
So you have to know who to talk to, and that's the big difficulty.
So we need some relationships with them, because they have so many shops and electronic shops and factories and design companies. So, but we need some connection with them to get work.
So they're also and then so basically you have to work with, like, I guess, contract manufacturers, and the contract manufacturers, they have connections to, like, sourcing for, like, parts sourcing, that to, like, assembly houses, injection molding facilities. If you need something engineered, like if you're trying to get some steel tooling made for injection molding, and you've never done injection molding before, then they'll have engineers help you and, like, look over your design and advise you.
Okay, it's something like making or creating the supply chain using the local network.
I mean, so, like, basically, if you've never created a product before, what you would do is you contact the contract manufacturer and say, okay, well, I have this rough sketch or this rough idea of what I want, and the manufacturer would work with you to create, like, a design file, like an STL, and with a plastics engineer, get the tooling made, get the enclosure made, and then hopefully you have some skills, right? Like the PCB gets made, or and then assembled, and then finally puts that all into a final package.
Right.
And then, so I mean, And then all that stuff just exists within Shenzhen, and all of it is just located like kind of really cramped into the Shenzhen Dongguan area. And we toured tons of factories, and everyone just has some kind of connection to each other. It was really strange. And so that kind of network doesn't exist in the U.S. And then I don't think probably that network, I haven't seen that in Japan either. You know, that's like only because so much manufacturing happens in China that you have this whole system, like this environment geared just for manufacturing. So
yeah, but at the same time, I had a very mixed feeling, because once you just come up with some idea and some sketch, and you can just bring it to China and they can make it. So if we make the product in that way, I mean, we don't have to have any skills, and everything can be happening there. So that's, I don't know, China is just learning to make the new things, and they develop the new technologies. And
but I think China, like, because Japan has a very well defined, like, the design community in Japan is very well defined and very like creative, and I don't think China could really match that and like design something for the Japan market. I think the design would still have to be in Japan, but then the designers need to know, like, in my opinion though, the designers should understand the manufacturing process, whether they manufacture it in China or the US or Japan, right?
Yeah.
Because you need to know what the options are, how it's gonna, how the manufacturing flow is, and all that. Otherwise, you're just gonna run into all types of problems.
Yeah. Then what should I talk next? So I was very impressed with you're saying, because you're not Japanese, but you're trying to make the innovation in Japan, and you are trying to gather the designers, engineers, and other people like in Japan together, then make innovations, right?
Because I've lived here for 10 years, right? So it's obvious that I like Japan, and then I think there. Yeah, so I think that there's a big change that has happened, right? And so, there's like kind of the mainstream consumer technology, and then there's like kind of the underground technologies, which was before, like the CNC and the 3D printing, all that stuff was kind of not very mainstream. Right. But I think a lot of the less mainstream technologies, like like all the basically the hacker community, the technology artist community, and like the DIY, and like a lot of just the otaku community. There's a lot of creativity that's going on that isn't really getting seen. Like they all kind of exist separately. So if you bring them together, then I think it's possible to get a lot of new design ideas. And then if somehow you can take some of them and take them and show them like all the manufacturing stuff, all that stuff, and then show them how their ideas can actually become real, turn them into like something real, then it might be possible to kind of create a startup, a healthy startup community in Japan, in Tokyo, or in Japan.
So what do you think the difference between Silicon Valley and Japan or Tokyo?
Silicon Valley. I don't like Silicon Valley.
But you're from South California, right?
Yeah. So I'm from Southern California. I've lived in California. I had to go to Silicon Valley a lot, but Silicon Valley is just like kind of its own little bubble world, right? And then like they exist or they don't. Basically, I mean, you can recreate a lot of that. That's all. Like Silicon Valley right now is just like web apps and like. And software, right? So I think, but so I don't know. I do think that Japan still needs work in kind of getting the startup culture more accepted and respected. I think the large companies still don't respect them enough. But I think all of that is possible to change. There's so much innovation and creativity just underneath just underneath. Like even the Fab Cafe, if you look around, there's a lot of like really interesting designs everywhere. So like this book, the 360 book, you know, it's just a beautiful, you know, piece. And then like, you know.
Yeah, you can keep talking.
Oh, I don't know. 'Cause it looks funny with you, like kind of thing around. But yeah. But anyways, I think that there's many more options for smaller design for designers and small companies now, especially with the digital fabrication techniques, prototyping, and then now I've seen that like for manufacturing, it's very accessible even to small people, like, even to small companies.
So you are also trying to helping here the Fab Cafe.
Yeah, I teach some workshops here, and then like I help Jackie out and stuff, and then and I don't know, I like Fab Cafe and Loftworks, and I think you know like Jackie's really trying to push the art and technology kind of envelope, and then that's something that I think is really important, because that's art and technology can help things get accepted by the mainstream, because I think you know like design is very well accepted and admired in Japan, in my opinion.
Yeah, agree. So, do you wanna say something or? How was the Tokyo event, the Media Lab event in Tokyo?
Oh, Media Lab sponsor.
Yeah, it was great event. I met a lot of people as usual, and then I got a bunch of the contact with them after. Then our conference is the whole new, or it's not whole new, but the started last 2 years maybe. But
last year I did it.
Yeah, so the people changing a lot. So people try to attend a bunch of the conference, and also try to speak up the idea during the session.
What kind of conference?
I went to the open hardware the Bunny organized, and then he showed what he created, how to open the design and benefit and advantage, disadvantage of by opening the design. And second session is about the one session organized by the one engineer of the Panasonic. Do you know Doki Meter?
Doki Meter? No,
yeah, it's very close to the affective computing stuff.
Using the heart rate?
It's not only heart rate. They want to detect the emotion of the human by.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
by using what?
Yeah, detecting something.
Detecting something. What?
Or using the information from the cloud. By using the Twitter or Facebook.
Oh, so they do the.
Roughly, we can detect where that person is gonna be, or in the future.
Oh, that's what I'm maybe interested in.
It's very close to what you guys doing. So that's the one I attended, and then finally I went to the BOP business conference session organized by Toshiba. So like this, the Japanese company tends to be very, they hesitate to do something beforehand. But now they are trying to speak up and trying to organize and collect the people's idea in that session. I saw that difference now and 2 years ago.
Yeah, last year, most of the conference was just from the Media Lab people.
Yeah, they started to think that conference, the people try to attend or join, participate, rather than just sitting on the chair. That's what I.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Especially, there's more participation.
More participation.
Nice. Yeah, good.
Bani had a bunch of the participants over there.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, the people. So people even in the company start to be interested in open hardware devices.
That's very strange, but
yeah, I wanna ask more about the open hardware, because you too are more hardware guys.
Yes, but I think that when I say open hardware device, always the electronics comes first, but not like robotics. But when I say hardware, there are two kinds of hardware. One is electronics, and second is the other, like robots, wheelchair, prosthetic devices. Much more expensive than the electronic. It's hard to share. But it's the first step. The electronics might be the best one because
electronics is not so difficult.
Each components are very cheap. But power electronics tends to be very expensive even now. So that's the difference. But I think that open hardware activity is going forward, and hopefully
even in Japan.
Even in Japan, I think so. Each component is gonna be cheaper, and then we can share the more beyond the electronics. That's what I thought in this section.
That'd be interesting to see like open source prosthetics. That'd be very. I'd like to see that.
Even now, there are some projects named Open Trophy.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. I saw the website. Not my part of my project, but it's not working so well because I think it's very difficult to make it, and also needs to take some responsibility when the people try to fit the proper device from the patient. So to make more precise design or needs to combine the services with the hardware devices. But I think it's possible in the project going forward.
Yeah, I think initially, like open when you first start doing like open source whatever, and then like the initial versions are always like kind of janky and like.
What could be improved?
But now the electronics work so well. So
I think
the more hardware device needs to be open.
Electronics. It's getting. I think like so software is already like open source software. A lot of it is stable. The hardware is getting more like stable, like stabilizing a lot, and then
getting better.
Right. So it's definitely an interesting area.
So what's your main purpose? Like you're involving in open hardware and like making the open.
I don't know. Like if you do open source and then everything just moves faster, right?
It moves faster.
Because you don't have to. You're not worried about like people copying you, or you can freely share information, and then people. If you trust other people will share their information with you too. So just like everything just goes so fast, right? You saw in Shenzhen and like all the other open hardware people, and then we were just like talking freely about everything.
A bunch of open hardware people.
Everyone's just like giving like you're doing that, you should try this, right? You're doing this, you should get your parts over here, it's like much cheaper or whatever. And then there's no like hiding like maybe he's gonna discover my source, whatever like that. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing I also learned from the Shenzhen trip. So
there's a community out there that's really impressive.
Okay, so do you want to say something more now?
I'm okay.
Okay. So, okay. はい、というわけで、1時間くらいにわたって話してきましたが、なんか最初はかなり取り留めもない感じでランダムでしたが、はい、というわけでファブカフェ渋谷から久しぶりの、はい、メディアソロの放送を終わりたいと思います。
メディアラブ、何ですか
？3D プリンティング。
3D printed chain?
先天の、写真とかビデオとかはもうちょっと追加をして編集をして。
So I documented the whole. I tried to document the whole Shenzhen trip on my blog. So if you want to check it out, you can check it. Let's go to freaklabs.org, and then I think the category is like Shenzhen 2013 or something like that. But you should be able to find it.
Yeah, your writing was awesome.
So I think it took me a long time. There's like 15 posts for each. Like there's 15 total of each factory tour and pictures and everything. Oh, this is cool. Is this SLA?
Sorry?
Is this SLA? Or using SLA or?
I have no idea. What is SLA?
Oh, like SLA, like this looks like high resolution. Did you make this?
No,
he just picked up
here. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's SLA, like high resolution 3D printer. It doesn't feel like very rough. Like
I agree. Yeah.
Hi. ということで、
はい
終わりにしたいと思います。ありがとうございました。はーい。
Bye everybody. Bye Media Lab.
はーい。これどうしたらいいんだっけ？ストップレコーディング。これ間違えるとだってこれ全部ダメになっちゃいますね。
ストップレコーディングで名前を聞かれるんで。